Hello, everybody. This is Joshua Hayes with a December 29th stock market wrap up over here at BigWayTrading.com. I hope everybody had a happy Hanukkah and a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you all got to spend some quality time with family and/or with friends or family that you definitely appreciate. Anyway, let's go ahead and go to the stock market. Today was a bearish day overall as the S&P 500 fell 0.4%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.4%, but the NASDAQ fell negative 1.3%. The problem is that the 50-day moving average continues to be a major resistance line, as you can see for the NASDAQ almost the entire month of December. It's tried to flirt with it, failing to get above it. Dow Jones Industrial Average did actually get above with it, flirted with it a little bit more hardcore than the NASDAQ did, but now it's back to steadily staying below it. The only positive today is that you can see a bullish tail intraday on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It printed a bullish, slightly bullish tail here also on the NASDAQ. As you can see, the little tail here, the tail here shows that there's been some intraday support to go along with those open bodies. So it's not horrible, but it isn't the most bullish thing, of course, to see that we come back on stronger volume on a sell-off. However, the bullish intraday reversal, the bullish tails, indicate that it isn't that severe. A weekly chart, the only thing that's a problem with the weekly is that the volume on the up weeks on the NASDAQ, as it shows, much lower than on the sell-off. And that can also be seen on the S&P 500. As we get to pull it up here, the sell-off happened a little bit stronger volume. As you can see on this big tall green bar, it actually closed in the lower end of the weekly range, suggesting that it was the sell-off that week with just a little bit of support, not that much support. So that bar really, to me, is kind of a red bar. And as you can see here on the 7-day, it shows up more prominent. And then if you look at the one big strong week we had was the week of 11/28 around the finish time there. So it hasn't been that bullish for the S&P 500. However, the one thing I like about this weekly chart, tail, 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 bullish open body range covering up the previous week sell-off, tail, tail, tail. The only negative is the volume doesn't support this bullish-like action. Open body, bullish tails, bullish tails. So I hope that we're building support, but failing at the 50-day moving average and reversing there so often like the market's doing doesn't convince me that things are going to hold up necessarily for more than the short term. United States dollar index, you can see it was slightly up today. It held that 200-day moving average support in December. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days later, it's having a very bullish session with a very bullish tail. As you can see, as it sold off intraday below the $80 mark, it found support around the 79.63 area. Rallied hard back over 81 and closing near the high of the day. High of the day was 81.25, closed 81.15. Now, with the dollar moving up, though, I want to show you platinum. I said it retakes the 50-day moving average. You go long, 6% gain. Platinum is holding on to the 50-day moving average, as you can see. And now it's starting to trend up, which on a weekly, as you can see, looks like it's ready to start maybe a leg of an uptrend. Silver, as you can see, continues to hold that 50-day moving average that it got above on 12/10, 6% gain. And bearish maybe for the United States dollar, but it was up today still, so maybe it's bad for other current currencies. Like I say, I'm not necessarily a futures trader. I'm an expert in the stock market. Stock market is doing too healthy right now. However, if you went long with the move over the 50-day moving average, you now have an 8% gain. If you went long with the move over the 200-day moving average in gold, of course, you went long today, so you don't have a gain yet, but you have a bigger long position. So 8% gain from the 50-day moving average take over, and now it's trending higher. Now, what's going along with that, I want to pull up a few gold charts for everybody. Not going to say anything, just going to pull them up so you can see them. So now that you saw all of those, whenever you cycle through them, you tell me which looks. You tell me what looks like is going to happen next. To me, it looks like that we're going to have a gold rally. Of course, on my website to my subscribers only, I will be giving you my longs that I'll be taking in the gold and silver stocks when they do set up and break out. And of course, I'll tell you which ones to go heavily long and which ones to avoid. So nobody that's a subscriber here has to worry about that. I'm on top of it. Besides that, I made a video that had 5 parts to it this weekend going over around 200 stocks that appear to be trying to bottom. Not necessarily have bottom, but if they have bottom, these are the best looking ones. And we're definitely, if anything, even if we haven't had a bottom, when we have a bottom later on, I have now shown you what I want stocks to look like before we can say, oh, we've had a bottom. So now that you've seen what stocks should look like in those videos, you'll realize when we'll probably have a bottom in the market. However, it's more importantly, it's prudent to go study my 2002 and 2003 longs, because it's those Max Green Bot beautiful chart patterns that'll have this market rallying whenever it's ready to rally. However, gold's back above the 250, while the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange remains below the 250. Gold is good, stock market isn't. Hopefully that'll change. If it doesn't change, gold stocks will soon be making us very wealthy, because as they set up and break out, I'm definitely not going to miss those. So we'll have our chance. Stay patient, everybody. Right now, cash is still king. We're in a holiday shortened week again, as we have New Year's Day this week, and I believe that's on Thursday. You can see the extremely low volume that we've had every day since 12/8, since December 8th, except for the 19th when we had quadruple witching expiration. So you can see the market's pretty much going nowhere. At the end of November to now, it's down 1% for the New York Stock Exchange. I'm going to go to the end of October for the NASDAQ, just for giggles, down 12%, but let me just pick right here in November 12th to December 29th. We don't even have a 1% gain. So the market's been flat for a month to a month and a half. That's why cash is king. Until we have a breakout to the upside and we have a lot more stocks that look like this out there, I don't think we're going to be going heavily long anytime soon, unless gold stocks set up like this. If I get Max Green Bop like this in gold stocks, we'll be very long. However, this just isn't out there right now. So I hope everybody had a very, very Merry Christmas. Continue to enjoy your holiday shortened weeks. The volume, as it tells you right now, clearly tells you where everybody on Wall Street's at. They're not on Wall Street. So take it easy this week. Don't feel like you have to force any trades. They'll come to us. Stay patient. Stay calm. Cash is king. Part 2 is coming up next. Aloha.